8:30 and we have work, so should we go ahead and get started? You want to do roll call?
Almost. Hold on, sorry. Let me just open up. Okay.
Thanks, Rich. All right.
All right. Taylor,
Yes.
Bro, and Beth, is she here?
All right.
Not that we see yet.
Dottie is not here. Rick.
Here.
Rob. Trish here. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you in person.
Janice, Jan, Maud is here. David Franklin, Chief Ellis, and Alex, Judith. Anybody else?
Not
Was
yet.
on Zoom, so I'll kind of watch it.
Okay, good. Okay, well, thank you. Well, we have a visitor. Hey, Dave.
Hey,
Visitors' comments?
yeah, really quick. I mean, our little group has our first two events coming up in April, but what I wanted to plant the seed on is that,
Thank you.
the big banana, it's a full Monte issue, is that I've been working, I had the privilege of been working with an international team on launching the new world peace movement. I was a teenager in the 60s, the anti-war movement, the peace protester and stuff. But there hasn't really been a new world peace movement since then. And so we're gonna launch another one, but kind of Janice from our consumer marketing days, we're gonna test market it first in about 3 cities, and Webster Groves is gonna be one of them. It's gonna be like a pilot test. But one of the reasons for it is because we fervently believe that the arts are a major pathway to peace. We believe that the arts, perhaps like no other force in the world, has the power to lift people's spirits and to bring people together in unity and joy and peace. And within the 91 municipalities here in St. Louis County, I've done the research. There isn't a city that comes close to Webster Groves in terms of its history, its heritage, its depth, its breadth, and its advancement of the arts. So I'm just sharing that plan and seeing, you'll know more about it. But we're going to give peace a chance.
Thank you, Dave.
That's it.
Is that all we're saying there?
Pardon
Is that all we're saying?
me?
Okay, should we go on to approval of minutes? Take the minutes. Anybody have any comments, changes?
Thank you, Ma, your minutes are
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. Do we have a motion to approve minutes?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Minutes are approved.
Okay, so that was Rick and then who seconded?
I'll do second. Shoot.
Yeah, we were
Dottie.
doing.
Dottie.
Yes.
Old business, the Jerry Welch Sculpture Garden renaming. Rick, do you want
So I feel like we made really good progress with Scott and the new Parks Director. So I think they liked the location of the last ones, which made a lot of sense. I thought Scott gave very good suggestions and he really understood the space, which I thought was great too. It's
How
waiting.
it's used.
Yeah. Thinking about prom photos. Like I'm not there yet, so I'm not thinking about it. We're just kind of waiting on Andrew to give us a price and a timeline. A little worried about the price of metal going up right now. Especially aluminum, it's heavy, it's expensive. So we'll work with him this week, but I think after that, then it's really trying to figure out the lighting stuff. So they were gonna try to figure out a way to show us some stuff. But, it feels like it's moving along well. We just need those times.
Now, when we opened the sculpture garden, before we opened the garden and then later did the lighting,
Yeah.
is that how we're thinking of doing?
No,
it?
trying to do it all at
Or
one
do it
time.
at one-
One install.
Mhm.
So, yeah, and I think they'll do the install. So, but right now, it seems like it's moving.
And then we met about what we might want the ceremony to be. Judy, we want to give her a recap of what we talked about?
Well, there'll be a sort of presentation, actually, and I have not done one of my assignments. Since Catherine Moggle's bird was the kind of originating, sort of focus that got the sculpture garden going. She had made little birds, and I was hoping that she might be willing to, I think she has lots of them, to make one in honor of Jerry or something that we present to her at the naming ceremony. And then I'm going to speak about sort of the history and how it came together. Catherine, we would like her to speak.
Hopefully she'll speak,
Yeah, I can't unless she's out of town, that would be the reason. And
And then
then
we have
Gotcha.
Laura.
and Laura, right, Arnold. And then sort of having maybe a toast, champagne toast, minimal sort of food. We didn't think it's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
food.
And Patrick was there and spent a lot of time with Carrie this way. She really would like it to be pretty informal.
Yeah.
So, talked about just closing off between, I don't even want to recall the triangle.
Yeah, what those
The
streets are.
little side streets and Lockwood and, having been very casual. I think our group and the, Arts Commission provide some food, having a band.
And some music, right?
Yeah, so Patrick was going to talk to Mike Silverman, I believe, to see
Right.
if he could provide music and if not, but Patrick said he would be very happy to get some music going.
I think,
Patrick. Oh, Patrick, Murphy.
Murphy,
I was
who
thinking,
used to be on the Arts Commission, is now head of the.
Webster
or
Arts.
Webster Arts.
he was talking about how his Webster Arts team will be out there, their t-shirts. Maybe we should think about a t-shirt for the commission where we put that City of the Arts in the back and really start hammering that in, like when we show up to things or do things.
So there was a t-shirt made. I have one with City of the Arts in the front, and who was selling it? Was it one of the embroidery stores?
Yes, on Gore, right?
Yeah. So there is like a design and it has like a Webster logo, I think on one of the sleeves, the short sleeve black with it matches the banner essentially.
Cool.
So I'm not sure exactly like where that lives now, that file, but it exists, so we can find it.
Maybe John Ahern?
Yeah, I tried to.
think he decided.
Yeah. So he should. I haven't had luck getting in touch with him, but someone else might have better luck. Or Patrick maybe we're in regular touch with him, but
Or
it
Don
does.
Bristol. might
Yeah.
also.
It exists, so it'd be easy to order some.
Yeah.
And those are through, Embroidered Education, you said?
I don't think the original order came through them, but then like the public could go up and order them. They had them in their window, and it was like if you wore them around town and someone's like, "Oh, I want one of those," it's like go
Go
to.
there.
Yeah, so they also may have that access.
That's a great idea.
What was the name of the artist with the birds?
Catherine Mogel, Magel.
Captain with a K or a
C.
C?
Such a diligent note taker.
So anyway, it seems like once we know when installation can take place, it should be a pretty simple ceremony to pull together. Pretty casual. Anything else about Sculpture Garden in the name? Okay, banner update.
I have two updates for that. One is I did find a document that has the locations and then the total. So it's 26 total between Old Webster and Orchard and the Old Webster Business District and the Old Orchard Business District. I'm gonna go by Fast Signs and get a quote for that as well. Just around the corner, local, support local business. And then next meeting I'll have well, once I get the information, I can send it out, but I'll have the cost association based on what Fast Signs. I believe y'all approved the graphic to stay with the same one last meeting, so we needed numbers, we needed a quote, so that's the update on the banners.
So hopefully the fast sign is pretty fast, so.
They do really good work. We've used them for fire department needs that we've had, so.
So, right after you get the quote, do we have to wait for the next meeting or can you just?
I can send it out.
And
I'll
then-
send-
That way we can get them in progress.
and check that box.
Yeah, that'd be
Yep,
great.
absolutely.
Great. Lifetime Achievement in the Arts, Award. We'll move to tonight because of the snowstorm last time. How many people will be able to go? Mary Beth Lumetta and her husband will be able to attend. Can anybody else show up tonight? Yeah, I can.
What time?
At 7:30. We need to arrive a little bit before. Yeah, I told her to meet here 7:15. It's 7:15.
Council will be usually has work session in here, so we can always go into the council chambers and listen to work session. And then gather there just because it gets loud in the hallways.
Sure. And then you have the. Where's the award with the?
Right there.
Oh. What? Know what you pulled up?
Oh, sure.
Thank you, Taylor, for pulling this together.
Yes, so here's the award. I'll also make a template that doesn't have a name for next year and moving forward and put that in Google Drive. Without it for the frame, it's got fun little legs, but it will
Yeah.
be really cool array. And then, yes, and then some cartoons. The most famous one up here on the top. Right, for you. And then I just pulled a little text from kind of a bio from the SLU
And
website.
Mary Beth was particularly happy that we've got this comic in the corner. It's basically who's the Democrats and the Republicans kind of shooting it out with President Kennedy like in a box and everything. And this ran the night before he was shot.
It ran, yeah, the morning of, and they
Oh
had to
my
go out and
goodness.
recall all of the issues.
So he was that,
It was.
on target with what was going on. Wow. So if you look at some of his work, it's really impressive. It's for 40 years. It was a cartoonist, editorial cartoonist, so.
That's very cool. And this can live here for as long as.
And the mayor will, Laura will present it. She's got a proclamation ready to go, so I'll touch base with her today to say,
We have on the website all the recipients, right?
Yes.
Here. Yeah.
we do.
We don't have this year's yet.
Right.
And actually, can you remind me again, who is the contact for updating that page?
For the city website,
Yeah,
Usually our-
for the Arts Commission page on the website.
usually our city clerk.
Okay.
The what? The arts league clerk?
Katie, our city clerk. updates
Oh, Katie,
the
our
official
city clerk.
website. Yeah.
I can work with her on getting.
I always copy her on our emails when I send it out to the team,
Perfect.
but I can also see.
So that's this year's, and we'll talk about future later in new business. Anything else with lifetime achievement? Glad we're gonna finally get 24 out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's see, a new business. We had a meeting, we talked about what was to set goals and budget and what we discussed was pretty similar to what we talked about briefly at the last meeting, which is really, what do we want to do? What, how can we truly become City of the Arts? How can we support being City of the Arts? And so there are some areas that we talked about in our budget. We would like to support some roundtable events, find out what the city, what the artists in the city would like us to do. We talked about having a roundtable event for arts organizations. Also talking with the business districts to see what they would like. And then to see if we can get a roundtable for individual artists and perhaps musicians, but just to start to gather people, say what kind of support do you need so that we can provide the services for support in the future, because they know what they need more than we do. So that's one area. So we want to have some money for that. Last year we had and last year we supported several outdoor concerts, which we thought we'd continue to do this year. And we want to make sure that we've got some money for public arts. So while we had a very small budget this year, we are asking this year, or we want to ask for this year, $2,000 for Arts Commission programming, which would include our Lifetime Achievement reception, Poetry Month. Did Poetry Month happen this year?
Well, it's in It's April
April.
specifically, and we basically have kind of given that over to the library to do the programming.
Okay,
So last year, does anyone remember? I don't know that. The library hosted all the programming and they did, I think a children's poetry workshop with, an author, and that's happened the past several years. But I don't think anything else took place. 'Cause
so we don't need to provide any funding for it?
I think last year we maybe did so I think I facilitated with the children's author and the library, just put them in touch, and we might have donated like a $50 stipend. I don't know can't remember if we did or not, but it was basically trying to kind of, I think we decided we're extracting ourselves because it made more sense for the library to take it over. Now, whether they are doing that this year or not, I don't know, but they have all of the contracts for
How
it.
about publicizing it? I mean, I think that's something we could try to do.
Well, so in the past, we've made sure the Webster Kirkwood Times had the information. I had reached out to some poetry groups online and Facebook and stuff, but also the library has a pretty good cadence of
Okay.
getting their stuff out. So if the library is sponsoring it, they will make sure that it gets into
Okay.
those vehicles. I think that's how it's worked in the past. I think obviously we could share it, if you have your own, putting it in the Community Connect and things like that more organically. But that's a good question because I don't think I've seen anything come out yet about that. Now it's still March and it was mid to late April last year when they did it. So, so it kind of phased, I think Poetry Month kind of phased out because there was a little less boom about it. And we thought that the library could maybe engender more enthusiasm through their channels.
So there's something we can take out of our budget.
Yeah.
Then we wanted to have some sort of public art event and our roundtable series. So we were hoping that we could ask for, who knows what we get, $2,000 for different programming, but that would include all of those. This past year, we did commit to $4,400 for outdoor concerts, so we'd like to continue to do that again. We are not putting them on, but we've got some groups that we have been helping support with their concerts as they brought to us. And then this year, and this was a number that came from Alex, but we want to ask for $20,000 for public art to see, can we make a goal of finding and installing a piece of public art? Now that $20,000 would include things that probably go to other departments. But if it's in the city budget, then it could be parsed out to where it needs to be, and just taking that of ours. So I think it's Parks and Rec, that it would go there if it's, so those were the things that Ed decided for budget. We would like to see if we can accomplish and need the budget to do, because this year we had such a small budget, we really do almost nothing, but really getting money in there to find out how we can best support the city, the artists of the city, and money in there to actually be able to place some public art. Some goals.
I always keep remembering how the Finneries who funded the Barbary Park and funded some of the sculpture garden, had intended to be giving for the arts in Webster. I think Jerry has a particularly close relationship, and that might be why, but just, it seems something we're moving. I don't quite know. I know them a bit, but I don't know them well. I'm not sure, but someone to think of a plan to maybe approach them, or maybe ask Jerry her advice first. If we could arrange something of us to have coffee with them or something like that.
Yes, good idea. The other thing that we talked about really briefly, we didn't do it, because Jerry did speak with our commission last year about how she'd gone about securing some public art. And one thing was establishing relationships with people that have art, maybe in storage, and with people like the Finneries, which is something we should probably do. And actually, I was looking, Rick, since you are in that arena, I was wondering whether you could give us some tips or ideas, or maybe let us guide us into establishing some of those relationships?
You know who has the art in Webster?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a few ideas. I know the museum guy, I have a guy that, Dave Jump is taking care of City Museum for a while, St. Louis Art Center.
Uh-huh.
This is who I purchased for, so he may have a few that we can purchase or borrow. It's a giant Tom Modernist piece, that's set out in Broadway. But I could definitely withstand the elements here and people climbing on it. But no, let me think about it.
Yeah, because it would be really nice if we just make those relationships, see what might be available. I think we can afford borrowing and buying,
Well, then,
let somebody else.
We had Stefan stop by last time. He was our other,
Oh, yeah.
and so I got connected with him and I connected him with an artist.
Uh-huh.
And so I've seen what they're leaning to produce with those light bulbs. It's pretty cool. I mean, so it may not even just be artists, it might just be establishing these people that are coming up and really wanting to support. Because I mean, talking about making these flowers out of these, they're beautiful.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, we might just have just the artists.
We may
Sure.
wanna put something maybe on, and we've talked about updating our section of the website a little bit. If we go to getting public comment for art recommendations, we could also include a form or just a coded email address that says, would you like to talk to us about, do you have a concept or an idea? Just make a statement that we're open to conversations if, as we can continue to reach out and make informal connections.
And to that end, do some individuals have some art that maybe they're downsizing? That they may be willing to donate? And would that be a place we could have on our site to say?
It would make sense. I think we've talked about this before and it just never,
So if you know.
I think we, 2 years ago, we were talking about this and somehow it just hasn't happened yet.
To,
It just makes common sense.
yeah, to have a place you can upload and send the dimensions, upload photos, just to see what's out there and then determine whether we think it's appropriate and then where. So we have to figure out who's going to be determining it's appropriate and where. And
Well,
that
you-
might be, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
No,
interrupt,
please.
but you would have to make that clear because I know a lot of people think, I'm willing to give you this
Uh-huh.
thing. Oh, how wonderful. And then to not expect us to say, you know, I'm not sure this works for us. So to have that up front, that we
Yeah.
will evaluate it and see if it works into the program or something.
That's a great idea. And also that would also help you like just even talking to business districts about what they may want in their areas or their art tables.
Yeah.
So that could be, as thinking through that programming eventually, yeah, the topic of discussion.
And so our budget would end up being placing the artwork.
Yeah.
Rather than buying. I mean, you were talking to somebody, right, about how much it costs to put and make your artwork
Oh, yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, that's right, so like the 20,000 was pretty much, the 20,000 kind of assumes we would be borrowing the artwork.
Right.
Or be
Yeah.
given the artwork, obviously to have artwork done. And not everything has to be huge. I mean, there can be some small, I mean, you look at the West End, they have some beautiful sculptures, some bronzes. They did a program with, trying to, having sculptures of bus, famous St. Louis, and they're just unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous. So it doesn't have to be huge. They can
Yeah.
just-
What is the name of the foundation that we had associated with the commission for Loud? There was arts.
Oh, the Gateway Foundation?
Those are
like
public
a
art
art
funds.
foundation.
There's a public art fund.
Public art fund, that's what I'm thinking of, because I'm thinking of like when we get into donations of art pieces and even bequests and
Yeah.
things like that, that might be a tool to leverage to get, to incentivize. If you donate this, you're gonna get a tax receipt.
Well, that's true. You would have to have somebody value it, so.
Would we consider like architecture too? I'm just running through my head things that,
You know, architectural pieces.
I mean, sections of like the Chicago Stock Exchange or this Louis Sullivan. Just thinking what you were.
Personally, I would, but
Well, as Webster grows, we are, I mean, I think that's kind of our quality.
Yeah.
I mean, one of our, I don't know how to say it, but it, you know, our different range of architectural styles is kind of like our
Yeah.
strong point. Our strong point is
Yeah.
our housing that we have. And then I think that is a really good idea.
And we have warehouses at Lewis Sullivan.
Oh,
No,
that would be beautiful.
Don't we have to be able to do something with it? I
You
mean,
can
we're
build
not
something out
just
of it.
gonna store it.
No,
or-
you build a section of it. You can show,
Okay.
I have a
So make
19
that a
foot by
public-
27
Got
foot
it.
piece. I have a bunch of Rudy Trainee stuff.
Yeah.
I have all his early sculptures since he was Bob's mentor. Bronze and
Right.
stuff, so we
Can
could put
we
those.
do a field trip?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like, so yeah, maybe that is where I can help you. I'll take a look.
If you would schedule a field trip for us, I think that would be wonderful. We'll just see what even is available,
Yeah. I'll
beautiful
look at
art
it.
that's sitting and not displayed.
I think that would be really good. Yeah.
For pieces like that, does it make sense to have kind of a cadence of revolving pieces that are, you know, visiting at this time and so come back next month to see the next one, or are they more permanent pieces that would
The
be?
architecture would be permanent, but the sculptures, like the small ones of Torinis and stuff, you could rotate those out.
There'd probably be part of the parameters or loaned or borrowed piece of art is upkeep cost, which is part of the budget, location, and then the tenure that it would be in place. Considering maybe a mural on the side of a building. How long would you have a painted mural? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? So just having probably some parameters there.
You know, well, the one that we have on the side of the hardware store, yeah, I mean, how long has that been there? Yeah. It seems that seems pretty permanent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Seems-
Murals are pretty.
yeah, that was, yeah.
Have we ever commissioned art in the history of the commission?
The Barbie
Or
Park,
the Barbary Park.
The Barbary Park is commissioned, okay.
and that was through the Webster Art. The Arts Foundation.
Yeah.
And
And
Which
Northwest
was
Webster.
largely Jerry Welch said.
Yes,
Those
yes.
Okay.
the people said,
Nice.
hey, would you do that? But it would be great to have something more.
Okay. I don't recall the gentleman's name from last month, but I thought he had a really great idea with those
Stefan.
slides. Yes,
Yeah.
I hooked him up.
well, you did.
No, yeah,
okay.
he's got some good ideas. I think
Good,
that'd be really
okay.
cool.
It's because he's an artist from Webster.
He's an engineer. He needed an artist to help him figure out the next part. So
I see.
I stuck him with an artist who's a welder, and then they met like the next day.
So is he gonna take it further?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he thinking about here in Webster or?
Yeah.
Okay,
Where, did they have a location set already?
No, this is just a guy that he saw these things he thought was cool, and he wanted to find someone to help him make something, and so they came up with an idea. Now they're trying to figure out how they can market it and put it together as a larger piece.
because that is
was the
so,
property, right?
yeah,
On the eve.
I mean, that is so
The what
Webster,
property?
when we talk about Webster,
Oh,
you know,
So you want to do it.
you're talking about found objects and you're turning it into art. And if he's able to get, I mean, there are so many artists, student artists at Webster University who want to, you know, collaborate with something like that. And I don't know how many pieces he had.
Well, that's why I liked your thing about the round table. We can start figuring out who the artists are, because
Right.
that's what I prefer to facilitate things. I don't want to be the one. I just rather find
Because
this
it would
person.
be almost like a signature
There's
thing.
also, and I meant to bring that forward this morning, and I printed off, left it on my computer. RAC just sent something out. They have a new program called Catalyst,
Oh,
where
I
they
saw that,
want
yes.
to, where you sign up, you can sign up as an individual artist or as an organization. Where they want to connect artists with
Yeah.
organizations, and I wanted to
Okay.
ask, could I, would people be okay, I guess we have to vote on, it, if I signed us up as an organization for Catalyst, just so we have, connections to any of the artists who rap?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
could we have a motion and whatever?
I said,
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Okay, and opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, so I will sign up for Catalyst.
One thing for us to think to keep in mind too is at some point we talked about how there's nothing on the south border of Webster that makes any kind of statement about your entering. I mean, it's only on the north kind of border and down the road with all the new city plan, the new city plan. If there's some way that we will be in touch with that, when at least advise on what that might be when the day comes.
Well, the next time they're coming in to give a presentation is, what did they say, like June? For the next update for the city planning Lakota,
That sounds correct.
Okay.
So.
So- and I know that was, you know, in the early
Yeah.
discussions, so we'll just have to make sure.
It stays there.
Yeah.
So are you really thinking Elm kind of coming there or what?
I'm not sure which street, honestly, but it just feels like there's been so much that's happened at one part of it.
When I met
Like
Jerry,
Elm and Watson.
Yeah.
when I met Jerry at
Cheshire
the park, she
neighborhood.
told me
Or
there was
farther
one they
south,
liked.
Mhm.
Or at Crossroads, those where she was speaking, she wasn't as far down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we spent a lot of time talking about Crossroads, and that's very complicated because it's a county road, and then they had a
Yes.
plan, and then the person was killed, so that sort of made them rethink. There was somebody who was crossing from one of
Oh.
those little islands, and was hit by a car, so they recognized that they have to take a lot of care to do that, so there's just a lot of issues. And then the Crossroads Business District, which at least our earlier attempt to work with them was not very successful at all. But I think a lot of the
There's a
people
lot
have
of new
changed
stuff
there.
happening there, yeah.
Yeah.
So could be a different
Yeah.
vibe.
Betty's Books is going over
Where's Betty Books moving?
there. They're moving to Crossroads.
Oh, when? Oh, sorry.
I don't know, but
I don't know, it was in the Times.
Okay.
So, so that's what we discussed.
sounds great.
Now we'll see what we can get. So, and honestly, as I look at this, we wanted some money for roundtable students, but even if there's no money for it, we can just start pulling it together and start planning about that as well.
Would you do them here at City Hall or at a restaurant, and they maybe let us know?
Yeah.
So that we're-
I'd recommend out.
Yeah, in
At
which
a
case we would
person's
need to pay
house.
for it.
At
Or we go,
an individual's house? or-
Like a banquet hall
I'm
kind
just
of.
curious.
yeah, in which case we would need budget. We don't get budget, I think for this, probably it unless it's small enough that we could do somebody's house.
I'm sure we can find a partnership to
Yeah.
let us use it.
Well, there's like Green Door Gallery has
Oh, that's
an
true.
area, and then also Old Orchard Gallery, you can try to highlight one of
Oh, that's
those.
true.
in
Oh, I
that
think
space.
most of the galleries would be
Yeah.
willing to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Let's have them first.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to share at the roundtable events is, maybe also just like you said, arts groups, business districts, individual artists. And then also maybe one just for general public, just community to hear
Good
from
idea.
people who may not identify as an artist, but, you know, patrons.
Great idea. Anyway, so, in total, we would be asking for, 26,400. Yeah, well, but again, most of that is public art, which we mainly probably coming from other budgets, but we want to make sure that somewhere in the city budget, that's a plan.
How does that compare with what we asked for last year?
This year we had $5,500.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How big a jump.
It's an ambitious
We had no money.
What is the timeline on approval there?
Well, we have to submit the budget in March, on March 15th, so we'll need to work together to get them to put that in. And then it will be approved.
I assume some discussion, but the final approval of the budget's June.
Okay. But even before that, I think we can work on setting up some roundtables. We can do that.
The fiscal year starts in July. We need to make a motion and approve this proposal for you to go ahead and submit.
Do we have, do we have?
We've got a,
All of that.
Okay, I did the motion, you move,
Oh.
or no, I'm sorry, whatever, doesn't matter.
So
So,
moved to second.
Moved and seconded somewhere between the two.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, good. Next, and actually, I'm looking at number D, potential community sculpture, that was, we kind of touched upon that earlier, but, next would be, Lifetime Achievement Award. We talked last year about making our Lifetime Achievement Award a community nomination, which I don't believe it has been in the past, and putting it on the website so we can get the community more involved with it. Eric had done a form put online and we all looked at it. There were no other comments ever made to it, and Eric Rock, nobody knows where it is. So this is, I made a copy of what went into it. So this was the first letter around. We can just take a look at it. We can hope to get that back online, because we would like to make the Lifetime Achievement Award 2025, like to involve the community.
A part of the idea also behind this was to say, you know, we don't know who we don't know, and also we want to make sure that, that, so we don't have a resident requirement, that we would have to say how you're something.
You can have one.
To say how, you're connected to Webster Groves. For example, maybe there's an art teacher at one of our schools that's been teaching for 20+ years, and they're not a resident of Webster Groves, but they've made an impactful
They're part of the
commitment to
community.
our community, and the arts. And so, since they don't come to board meetings or whatever, we don't know about them, and let's get input from the broader Webster Groves community to see who else we should recognize.
So if we can look at the main thing was, expanding it a little bit, so, which was the Lifetime Achievement, which is the part we expanded was Lifetime Achievement Award they presented to individual artists in any artistic field, benefactors of the art, because we wanted to make sure it included those as well, arts educators or art supporters based upon their artistic achievements in the fields of visual, performance, musical, or literary arts, and trying to make that as broad as possible. They do not need to be current residents of Webster Groves to be considered for the award, but must have historical, cultural, or community ties to Webster Groves. So this is pretty much the form that we looked at, that Eric put up, contributor's name, address, phone number, email, the information about the nominee, rationale, and details for consideration, and then allow people to upload any information that they feel relevant. So that's what we had before. Brett, who would put it onto our site? Would that be the Tiara? Or
Katie.
So we have.
I think Tara would, she kind of handles social media,
Mhm.
whereas the website's the city.
Mhm.
I'm happy to work with Katie on that since I have other website stuff to ask about.
Okay. That'd be great. So this is what we talked about before. Does anybody have any changes to this? Yes,
This is my editor's hat.
yeah, please do.
Too many commas. I mean, I can make edits to the copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So is there
Are you
anything?
getting rid of the Oxfords?
Oxfords and extra spaces and just grammatical stuff. Sorry if you guys had a hand in this, but it's making me like cringe.
I'll go down.
Me too.
Not AP style, not AP style.
All right. So I guess this is got through before, but with appropriate grammatical editing. So we'll get this on. And Trish, you were one thing that this came up in one of our meetings is to make more of a statement with our Lifetime Achievement. Want to get this on, and Trish brought up that do you want to mention what you're doing at Webster University and why we should really get this up quickly?
Oh, yeah. Like, what am I doing? Yeah, so in addition to teaching at Webster, I'm also the faculty advisor for the Webster Journal, the award-winning Webster Journal, which is the student publication there. So they are currently putting their special edition to bed, actually, that's going on tonight. That's why I can't make the award ceremony. And the theme for the special edition, the print special edition, is an ode to the arts. So I thought it was just really appropriate if we could make it happen. There's always room for, a small ad. And I thought, why not? Because we have this coming up. So Taylor, turned this around quickly. And I had her come up with 3 different size options because we never know until production night, which is tonight, what kind of space we'll have available in the paper. So we have these three options that Taylor worked on, and one of these is going to make an appearance. And the paper is coming out the week after spring break, which is middle of this month.
Okay, we didn't talk, is there a charge for this or is it?
There is no charge.
Oh, that's.
No. Yes, you've got an inside person who knows there's always space to be filled, so.
So,
Yes.
Trish's publication, if you look at this as it goes around, it says, opening in April. So if we can get this online in April and then start to publicize it on our, and see what is available in the city, means of publicizing it, obviously talk to Webster Arts, who's got quite a organization there.
I read it several times thinking we were soliciting members of the commission and then realized, oh, no, we're actually saying Lifetime Achievement Awards, which doesn't stand out. Could we change a bit the relative point size on the, because it just, in glancing at it, I don't think you're gonna see or understand what the purpose is.
I'm happy to make changes. Trish, it's up to you on timeline.
That's right, it might, it's. Or maybe change. or you
How
can change
quickly can you turn it around?
My actual job calendar. Very, very quickly is the answer if I have. Oh, yes. Yes, I can flip that by noon.
So let me text her really quickly and see which size, so you just do one. And then we could do that. Oh, yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just flip the,
Yeah.
Big and
That's what I
small,
would do,
frankly.
right, I think that's all you need to do, because that tells you exactly what it is.
So if we can get this up, when would we want to have the nomination closed? We want to do, we've talked about, we have an award ceremony sometime in the fall, so we need to have time to get them, have time to review them. If this is up in April, when would we, and announced in April, when would we want people to submit by June 30th?
That's what I was.
Yeah, exactly, kind of how it was, yeah.
So I couple of months, yeah, if everybody finds.
submit by the 30th
Of June.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and with the website, we had also talked about the form is open year round, but for consideration of this year, nominations need to be considered by June 30th.
Taylor, is this QR code already live?
It is, it
goes
just links to
something-
the landing page for the Arts Commission, so that's where the form will live eventually by the end of April is what I'm targeting, but Katie doesn't know that yet, so I'll chat with Katie.
Okay.
But that functions, and actually go ahead and test it if you don't mind, because I would love to hear what I have.
So, when this comes in, I guess, so you'll work with her on getting any uploads and how to do all that, then we'll have to have groups together, so review it. So, we have to talk about that aspect as well. Maybe not right now, I think we probably need a subcommittee to talk about how that will work.
It works?
Yep.
Hooray.
Okay, great.
Do we need to approve this, or is this not official enough to?
Well, I guess it's
Yeah.
official.
I mean, it's our,
Yeah,
it's our
It is,
logo,
yeah.
so should we ask, is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Motion to say that this ad pending edit, suggested edits is good to go for publication. It's
Second.
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Well, is there anything else on lifetime achievement for the future that people want to discuss?
No, but one just comment, and I think I brought it up earlier. I'm eager to see the kind of nominations we get, because I know it's kind of been a struggle to figure out who is the best fit for this, and we've had to do posthumous awards. But I would say if we are feeling like we're not getting the level of nominations or somehow, just that this committee consider knocking off the lifetime of the awards, because I think that there are people who establish really cool community programs that maybe last year and they make a big impact or something, but I think that it could just be an achievement in the arts award, and it could be for a project that happens
No,
in a
that's-
more discrete time period, rather than feeling it like it has to be this like overall career that we're honoring.
Like the big, yeah, smaller stories are just as important as the big.
Well,
And
do we
when
do
we
that?
started, there were a lot of very old art people. So we were thinking in
Right,
those
like,
terms, but I
yeah.
think that's a great idea.
Well, then do we
And
wanna
our
do
last
that?
two awards have been posthumous.
Yeah.
So with that, do we want to do that now? And so rather than putting out the lifetime achievement and then changing it, if we're gonna make it open to the community, get the community thinking about it, maybe excited about it,
But aren't
do
we,
we,
we need to sort of change.
yeah, we have to change some topic,
Yeah,
take a
but,
lifetime.
and it could be that when it is a lifetime, we can
We
just
just
add
indicate that,
lifetime to
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
versus we're open to both options sort of thing.
So if we look at this, not to do, you know,
You could always add and or cover encompasses.
Do you want me to make that change to this?
yeah, I think if we take out lifetime, it's
Achievement in the arts.
achievement in the
award.
arts. Now, if we just take out lifetime, I don't think there's anything else that,
The concern there is gonna be currently at the website, just given the structure of the website has lifetime all over it, so that'll be the thing that
we'll have to change to.
delay. That's not a huge problem.
Yeah, let's just, because I think that's a really good point.
Well, and I mean, it'd be lifetime achievement and then starting in 2025.
Yeah, it'll just depend on how quickly I can work with Katie on it, but yeah.
No, I think
Definitely
that's
for this, I-
perfect timing too. You'll have younger eyes on it, you know, with the campus people, faculty, staff, and yeah.
I was thinking about that, like, it's a student newspaper and they'll be thinking about nominating their teacher as not necessarily a student. But if we
Yeah.
change it to achievement,
Yeah, I mean, basically all we take out is the word lifetime and it's all
Yeah.
there.
I think that.
And I think maybe more than one recipient was kind of insulted, kind of like, I'm not
Like, I'm not
done.
Yeah, that's a good point. Multiple, having more than one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of changing a lot. Do we need to have a motion that we hereafter make it just achievement in the arts?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All, any opposed? Okay, so we'll do that.
There'll be a best fit in that.
There you go.
You can,
Can increase that process.
yes, make that font bigger.
Taylor, thank you so much for all that
Yeah.
you're doing with
Yeah,
graphics.
wonderful. It's moving so quickly.
If anyone knows a real graphic designer, I think will not be offended to get that part done, so it's.
So, and thank you for bringing that. That was the perfect time to bring that up. That's
Good.
so
I was like, oh, I don't know if I should.
No,
Versus it
No,
was-
that's,
that way, when this goes out and is given out to the community, it's gonna be consistent for them. Community updates. Community arts updates. Well, you've got a show opening.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 21st of the rep.
And it's
Sherwood.
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 And
Yeah, it was on Robin Hood.
21st of what month?
This month.
Oh, this month, okay.
Nadia designed the costumes, so.
Small people fighting big greedy people.
Are they in a forest?
Yes, well, there's a tree. A tree. Red oak.
We have an ad for it in our program at.
Wow.
Excellent. There.
It should be fun. Should be. Fun. There's like 9 actors playing like 40 roles.
Oh, wow.
So is there a lot of costume changes or not?
Sometimes a whole costume change might be a hat. Or a helmet. So,
No glasses?
no. You'd have to hold up those little ones and nothing.
Any city updates?
Budget season, so it's a very busy 2.5 months, so. What all I've got.
Any other business comments?
Well, actually, it would have been under old business and this is totally my fault. But we are still working on the labels or the plaques for the sculpture garden, and it would really be nice if we had the new ones. And I don't know, I thought that had gone out. And they were being fabricated, but I
I
don't
thought that was one of the
know.
earliest things when I got in the position, you guys were done, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a related, and this is the part I'm responsible for. I did meet with Catherine. We went out and looked at the bird. It needs some replacement tiles, and then there's the larger issue of how to make the base, which is kind of unsightly. sort of bolt. And I think we had put some money, she's not come back. I mean, the problem is she is, I don't know, reluctant or doesn't really know what she wants to do, but anyway, she hasn't given us any kind of.
Is that the
bid on
artist?
doing that. The artist, right? So, but anyway, at least to replace the tiles is a pretty discreet kind of piece. Oh, since I have to get in touch with her about the sculpture park, I will ask her again. She was great. And I think she'll appreciate doing it for that event. So that's for her. But anyway, who is the person who would know about the plaques?
I don't know, Brett, do you? It'd be a city thing.
Yeah, we had budget money for it and I think they were ordered. I thought we had.
Yeah, they might be working on that forever.
Would that be Parks and Rec?
It was, well, originally it was through us, but I don't know.
I'd be, it'd be through parks or public works, depending on the scope of it.
I wonder if Katie would know.
Was it a past member of this?
It must be.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
really good knows.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm wondering, if it just was dropped when somebody left and then it was.
But I think we got to the point that the choice had been made, we had identified the fabricator, and I thought we had actually ordered them, so that had turned over to our liaison.
So you're asking about the upkeep on the base of the,
No, sorry, these are two different things.
Two labels.
The labels for the pieces in the sculpture park have suffered and are illegible. And so we had decided to replace them, and we had found a fabricator and a design and had, I thought, ordered, I think there were 11 we were ordering. And
I mean, I can ask Scott Davis, was Parks Director.
yeah, he might
He'd have some.
been, right. I don't think we were involving Scott. I mean, now that you say it, why not? Because Steve would have wanted to probably improve it.
There might have been some institutional knowledge there that
Yeah,
he's aware
yeah.
of. This is on, is that the sculpture party? So
Right.
So we talked about the repairs way back in, trying to find the date there.
Yeah.
February of 2024. The repairs.
Oh, I think way before that.
We started before that, but I know it was on the
Yeah, but it was
agenda,
still there.
at least that.
When
Right.
they
I'm
went
trolling.
online, how long are minutes kept on the city website?
And you can go back quite a ways.
Yeah.
That's the, there's search rate. Otherwise, I'll just keep looking at things.
Anything else that you want to bring up? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Have a
We're adjourned, thank you. So this